Here's some more repetition of the past analogies. Okay? I'm a senior at the University of Maryland in my final semester. And I stay with a girl overnight that is apparently a bisexual girl. I stay with her where? In a house without heating. Only 15 minutes from this house. A house where I experienced a terror so great. I've never known anything like it at any other time in my life. And I've been through some bad experiences, but the terror I felt out at this house when I was studying there at night, it was, all I can say is so frightening. I don't think I ever stayed a minute or two past 11:30 at night in that house. I was that scared. I got my things together and was gone. I was trying to study, you know. I might have been there all day studying, but as the time started to get later, I got more and more terrified of being there. Now, it was a house without heat, and I brought a girl up there after all those scary nights, right? I brought her up. If I brought her to that house, I had nowhere else to take her, you know. I was renting a room. I couldn't bring her there. I brought her to this house, and for some reason, I was with her where I'd been studying, and we started to make out and so on, and I forgot about the terror, and it didn't afflict me, and I stayed the night with her in that cold house. Man, was it cold. It was wintertime. It was so cold, we hardly made it through that night. That's all I'm going to say. Now, did I continue in a relationship with her? No, I didn't. One of the reasons was she was a bisexual woman. She was telling me about adventures she'd had that I didn't want to have, you know, and she seemed very pleased with these adventures. She's telling me about being in a group sex situation with several other women and one man. And the punchline of that is, she said, and we had a dildo. So, yeah, oh, yeah. You know, I didn't have to say anything. Maybe I just looked at her, and she said, and we were using it on him. Okay. It's a group sex thing, and we are using it on him. Well, anyway, when I heard things like this from her, I'm thinking to myself, what my tone of voice indicates now, 50 years later. I have nothing against that girl. She's a very nice girl. I had nothing wrong with her adventures. Some people like adventures like that. I don't. I mean, I don't like them for me. Other people want to do that kind of thing. Go ahead. Consenting adults. I don't see anything wrong with it. But it's not for me. That's all. Skydiving? I'm not going to skydive. I don't mind. I'm not going to skydive for anybody. Scuba diving? No. A lot of people like to scuba, not me. Now, I'm not going to get me underwater with a scuba thing. A tank that might go bad. No. I'm not going to scuba dive and be down there where you can't even come up, or you're going to get injured. Right? You come up too fast, that could... I don't know the details, but that's bad too. So your tank goes out when you're down deep and you can't come up quick. Woo! No, I'm not going to scuba dive. Now, maybe I got this all wrong, but no, I'm not going to scuba dive. So those are examples. I used to watch the program about the scuba dive. What was that called? What was that guy? His sons became actors. I don't remember his name now. He had a daily show about scuba diving during the 1960s. Forget what it was called. I used to watch it. But scuba diving, no, not for me. So, there's the analogy for that. Group sex, 3 women, and you're going to use a dildo on a man. That's not for me, but they want to do that. They're within the laws. everybody's consenting. I guess it's okay. It's not for me. That's all. Okay, I'm not making a value judgment. I'm just saying it's not for me. Now, what the hell did I want to talk about here? I don't remember now. I went off on that tangent and I don't remember. Damn. I had something I wanted to say. Let me put this on pause. It may come back to me. Oh yeah, I'm in an analogy. Now I'm a senior citizen. I'm not a senior in college, but I'm a senior. It's, similar. And I'm in a cold house. My wife and I are not using central heating in here. We haven't used it for several years. So this house is very much like the house 15 minutes away from this house by car. If it were still around, the house is gone now, but if it still stood where it stood, it would be a 10 to 15 minute drive from here. Now, so we have an analogy. I'm a senior, I'm here, and I'm potentially in a relationship, not actually together with a person, but potentially. So we have the symbolism is still hanging in there. It's a different kind of a situation, but the symbols are still there. A potential relationship with what looks like a bisexual woman. I'm in a cold house, so on, and here I am, a senior. Bisexual woman, the symbolism is still present. Bisexual woman then, bisexual woman now. Now, I'm realizing finally, without actually getting in a relationship with this bisexual woman, that just like back 50 years ago, this is not something I would want. Now, I do not know if this woman is a bisexual woman. She may not be, but I'm not even meeting her. So if she even seems to be, the symbolism is there, and it's a drag on me even wanting to get together with her, okay? Because I'm saying I do not want to be together with somebody like that. I don't have to go into reasons, right? People make friends, don't make friends. You don't have to write a disquisition or a Nobel Prize winning book on why they like one person more than another. They don't have to do that. They just say, like I just said, she looks like a bisexual. I don't want to sound like I'm making a value judgment. I want to say, that's not for me. Scuba diving is great. People love it, but it's not for me. Bisexuality, some people are loving it. It's not for me. I'm a heterosexual. I want a heterosexual. That's all. Now, if you were a bisexual and you were capable of getting into a relationship with me, you'd have a lot of work to do, and you might succeed, but it'd be a lot of work. And you might succeed, but the chances are you're not. Now, I'm saying, there's the analogy. Now, 50 years later, I'm in the cold house, I'm a senior, and there's a bisexual woman involved in the whole analogy. And now I'm saying, I did not get in the relationship with that bisexual woman, even though I was intimate with her for a couple of times. I still didn't want to be in a relationship because that's not for me. I thought a nice person and all, and I have nothing against her, but she's not for me. Same now. I'm saying 50 years later, here this other woman, I haven't even met her, but I'm likely not to meet her. Why? She seems like she might be a bisexual to me, and if she's not, she needs to clear that up. She's not. She doesn't even want to. She doesn't. Never mind what she wants. I haven't even met her, and I've been thinking about her, like maybe her. But then I say, well, look, maybe her, but she's looking like a bisexual, so not her. That's the best I can do with that. Okay, I got 100 GB, and I always, on the card there, the micro SD card in the phone, and 3-some GB in the internal storage of the phone. The phone's telling me I'm running out of storage when I always have the phone recording on the SD and the micro SD, how did it get flipped over there? Well, it got flipped over there by what my wife and I have been experiencing for the past 10 years, what we're calling unprovable harassments. That's how it got flipped over there. So let me go back to the recording I was making now that I got room on storage, which I always had. But, okay, I'm saying that my summation of where I'm at right now in my life is I'm at a kind of place I was at when I was a teenager, and I was going to be a senior in high school. Now I'm a senior in life. And when I was a senior, I was finally able to play football again. I had been a very good player when I was playing with kids before they started to sexually mature. Okay, around 12 and onward. Actually, they were probably starting before age 12, like age 10. I didn't know. Because I didn't get to a place where I could see whether they were maturing or not till I was like 13, and we're taking showers together. And now I can see that these guys who were, around my size and all, and they're still around my size and look kind of like me, they don't look like me down there. Suddenly they're hairy, they got descended testicles and stuff at 13. And I wouldn't have that till I was like 16. I go 3 years of delayed maturation, and those 3 years go like 50 years in an adult's life. Dude, that's slow. You're out of it, man. Life is going so slow. You're getting rolled over by a steamroller kind of thing. Now, one of those gigantic road pavers with the big roller there that, rolls over the asphalt. It's that kind of thing. So you're getting crushed by the slowness of time going by for you, because nothing is happening the way it should be. Okay, so by the time I hit 18, I started to grow late, right? Well, now I was big enough to play football, which was my favorite sport, right? And I'd been very good at it before everybody got onto a different playing field than the one I was on. They were becoming sexually mature and all. And as I say, when I tried to play with those guys, like in the 9th grade, when I guess it was 14 then, right? Yeah, 14 in the fall of whatever year that was. What I can remember it right now, thinking back, the hairy legs of the guy lining up apart from me in the drills. He's going to run straight at me with the ball, and I'm going to tackle him. And what am I looking at? The hairy legs there as he's down in his position. Did I have hairy legs like that? No. And man, was I taking a punishment. And in addition, I've talked about the busters. I'm going to see if I can. Well, if I cut away from this, this will stop. That's fine with me. I'll let it stop. I'm going to see if I can find a picture online of those busters anywhere, because I keep referring to them, and I like to show a picture of what I mean. So let me stop here. I'm going to go on with my recordings. I just had dinner. Today's the 6th of March, 2026. Here's what I'm thinking about. I believe this is a Christian scriptural teaching. It's in the scriptures of what's called the New Testament. I believe there's some passages in there that say, to those who have, more will be given. To those who don't have, everything will be taken away. Now, maybe this is in the Old Testament, because that does sound like the kind of thing you'd see in the Old Testament, but I don't know. Somehow I'm associating with Christianity. No, I don't know which it is. That kind of saying is the kind of thing you might see in what Christians call the Old Testament and people who are Jewish call the Tanakh. I'm not going to look. I could easily find out. I just punch in those phrases into the online, and I would figure that out, but I'm not going to do that. Why? I'm taking my life exams. I'm an old man. I'm taking my final life exams. So on this question, the best I can do when I'm answering is what I just said. Now, I can speak to the truth of that saying. You can see this happening all over. For example, you see like a singer, she wins this award here, and then somebody else is giving her an award there, and another award coming at her from there, and you look around and all the awards are won by one person, in the singing business, and that happens everywhere, right? A movie wins Best Picture in the Golden Globes, and then Best Picture in the Oscars, and so on. Maybe it wins Best Picture at the some other film festival. How about the one in Europe, and so on? Best Picture, Best Picture, Best Picture, okay? Okay, those who have are going to get more. Those who don't have, everything taken away. Now, I'm somebody who didn't have. Why? Everything was taken away when I was 28. Falsely accused, and what's happened? Punishment after punishment after punishment. No matter what I do, no matter what I say, everything is taken away. Nothing is given. Like the winners, right? They win the gold medal, and then the advertiser wants to give them a contract, and the movie wants to put them in the movie, and so on. To those who have, more is given. To those who don't have, everything taken away. And, to ramble on, isn't that the problem people who have been in jail have faced? People are trying to do something about that now, but in the past, men released from jail, no one will hire them. See, I did my time. I was punished for what I did, and I did the time in a jail. It's not nice being in a jail, and I was there as punishment. Now, I'm out of the jail. I've served the punishment. I want to work. No one will hire that person. Everything is taken away from that person. Okay? You see in the movie Shawshank Redemption, that man who's serving a long, long term in prison, he's the librarian in prison. And he has a little pet bird and so on. He's a very kindly man. I never think he would have committed a crime at all. And then he's let out of prison. And what happens? Well, you see him trying to make it out in the world. He's not making it. He's not being treated nicely. He's not working any kind of a job like he had. Why didn't somebody put him in a library somewhere? But he's not doing that. He's working bagging groceries, and people are being mean to him for no reason. So what does he do? He hangs himself. That's accurate. So that's saying to those who are given, they were going to get more, and to those who are not given, they get even those what they have taken away. There's my take on that. I just wanted to say that I'm thinking about that. Now, to quickly make a statement here, I am in no way thinking that I'm like that example from the Shawshank Redemption, killing myself because everything's taken away. No, that doesn't occur to me at all. It never has. And I am not going to kill myself. I mean, never has. Everybody has thought, well, what if I did that? Everybody's had thoughts like that, right? That doesn't mean what I was suggesting might be taken to be the meaning of this recording. In no way am I thinking about such a thing. That's all. And the reason I'm saying that is because somebody like me, with everything taken away, even common sense, things that I'm saying are taken away and twisted and made to seem what they're not. So that's why I got to say things like that. Okay, I've been saying that my life story is similar to the story presented in The Night of the Hunter, right? But I've also been saying that my story differs. These analogies are not point by point, okay? They're close, but they're not point by point, okay? They are not. So here's the difference between me and the character John. John does know that there's some money hid in his sister's doll. He does know that. And the man trying to find out is a serial murderer who murdered his mother, so he's not going to tell him, right? But his father told him not to tell anybody. Now, here's the difference between me and John in the analogy, okay? I do not know something that these Harry Powell type liars in the United States think I know. I do not know what they think I know, okay? So I differ from John in that way. They think I know something the way that demonic character in the story there, Night of the Hunter, thought that that boy knew something. He was right. The boy did know something. But in this analogy, the analogy does not continue on that point. I do not know what these folks think I know. So here's how I'm like the woman character in the movie Children of a Lesser God. This character who's pursuing that woman, and I'm like a woman in this analogy. How? I've been male raped so that I look like a woman to women and to other men, which is why I've had the awful life I've had. I was raped while asleep, so women don't want me and men want me for the wrong reason, okay? As I found out across my lifetime. And this is proved over and over, okay? My only friend for 27 years is a lesbian. That just happened, right? That's corroboration for what I'm saying. So I'm like this woman character in Children of a Lesser God, Sarah, who's deaf and can't talk. Now the hearing man is a proponent of the idea that deaf people need to learn how to talk, lip read, this kind of thing, be as much like hearing people as they can be, okay? So what's he doing throughout that movie? He's trying to get that woman to talk. Well, finally you get to a climactic scene, and he said, "You're going to talk!" He's screaming at her, right? And so she makes an attempt to say something. What does it sound? It sounds like a cat in an alley crying out. Bleh! Like that. It makes no sense. And you realize as a viewer, she cannot talk. She's been telling this guy the whole time she cannot talk. Well, now he realizes it. It's taken the entire movie for him to realize he's been abusing this woman. She cannot talk. He's been expecting her to talk. She can't. So I've been being pursued now for 10 years by secret police of the United States, and I don't know what they say I know, but the truth is some of them already know that. They already know. Well, I'm not going to get into that. However, I do not know. I'm like that woman who cannot talk. I do not know, and that's what's going to be found out anyway, but that's what we find out in Children of a Lesser God. The woman cannot talk. Now, I happen to be married to a woman who can't talk. She cannot talk. You could spend the rest of your life trying to teach her how to talk. She's not going to learn. She cannot talk. She can't do it. So there's my point. I am different from John, who does know something that the serial murderer, madman, who in this analogy is who? The United States of America. In my story, that serial murderer, madman, it's the United States of America. The United States of America, this madman who's been wrecking my life for 10 years down to the present minute and more. Okay? He thinks I know something the way that character, his name was Leeds, his last name was Leeds, I forget his first name. He thinks that this woman, Sarah, can talk. She can't. And I don't know anything these folks think I do know, and meanwhile they're wrecking my life with their abuse, thinking that I do. The way that man was wrecking the life of that woman in Children of a Lesser God. Okay, I just found a picture of the Busters. It's also called a football gauntlet machine, okay? And there are different kinds apparently, but I found one similar to the one that we had at my school. So I now have a picture of what I'm talking about. Anyway, when I hit those Busters, and I have a picture of a one with yellow pads. I got caught in there. I did not bust through. Okay? It says in the description, those pads are on high tension wires, and they were. So you have to bust through them. They put up resistance, okay? It's not, you just don't go blasting through. So I weighed maybe, when I was 14, I didn't weigh much over 100 pounds. I may have weighed under 100 pounds. People say, we don't believe it. But if I was like 5'1", okay, and I was thin, I might have weighed under 100 pounds. And I'm up against now kids who have hairy down theirs and descended testicles, okay, and hairy legs to go with it. They're not a lot taller than I am yet, but some of them are, but not all of them. But they're very different. Obviously, there's testosterone levels, their muscle tone, everything about them is different from me, okay? So when I hit those busters, I'm somebody around 100 pounds hitting something that I can't get through at all. I hit those, and I'm caught. In fact, I may move them maybe an inch when I hit them. So it's like hitting a wall, and now I'm going to be pushing with all my might with my legs to squeeze through that thing. I'm caught. They're in the middle of the thing by the time I get to the middle. There's a lot of work for a little guy like me just to get to the middle. And I'm in the middle and I'm caught. And I'm pushing to get through. And everybody's watching this. All these peers of mine are watching me struggle when they're just boom through that thing, okay? And this is me. So I've said in recordings that after like 3 times doing that, I started to weep. Now, that's one more time I've wept in my life, okay? 2 times as an adult, okay? One time when I was 18, one time when I was around 65, no other time. And this time when I was 14. Now, when you weep like that, it comes over you and there's no control, okay? I've only done it 3 times since I was 14. It's like vomiting, right? Suddenly, boom, there it is, you're weeping. You have no control over it all. And there I was in the line of the players, and I was weeping like that. Now, I didn't stop. I was weeping, and I went, and I hit him again, and I'm struggling to get through, okay? Well, what I'm trying to say is that now in life as an old man, well, let me finish up here. By the time I reached the age of 16, okay, I had tried to be competitive with these guys in football. I was weakening my body. I continued to play, okay? I said, I can't play on the junior varsity. I'm not big enough, and I dropped off. And then in the 10th grade, I played for what was called the 140-pound team. Was I 140? No. I was still way under, and yet I was able to play on this team. I probably could have played for the junior varsity as well, but I had to go through the busters and I couldn't do it. As well, I was taking a fierce pounding in drills. Like I said, I lined up against other players, and here's how you lined up. Let me show you what I mean. This is the way you line up in football, okay? You get down into your stance. You get down into your stance, which is like this, okay? So I'd be in my stance like this, and there's a guy like 5 to 10 yards away from me, and he's giving the ball. And he's going to run straight at me, and then I'm going to tackle him, okay? Now, as I just said, what I remember about that is the hairy legs of those guys coming at me because they were just punishing me, man. I was 100 pounds. Now, did I back down? It hurt to tackle them, but I tackled them anyway. They didn't go by me. I tackled them. And it hurt. because I was way out of my class there. I was way in the wrong place. And so what happened? I was weakening my body with all the punishment I was taking. I was courageous, yes. I didn't back down. I played like everybody else. It hurt, but I played. And I didn't ask for anything. Don't hit me so hard. You can't do that. So I weakened my body. So when I was 16, I injured my neck. Not playing football, playing another sport. But I injured it so severely that now I could not play football at all. Okay? However, by the time I hit senior year, and I'm now a senior in life, I was now big. I was almost 6'4", from 5'1" at 14 to 6'4" at 18. I didn't weigh that much, maybe 150 pounds, that's all, but I was strong and wiry, whatever. Tough enough to play football, but I had this injury, a severe injury to a nerve in my neck called a pinched nerve. And so now I could not play football even if I wanted to. I couldn't play. I tried. I went out there and I was getting injured and re-injured. There I was on the ground, almost unconscious, in pain, unable to move because I would injure my neck. I could not play. So after several weeks of getting re-injured, where it was horrific, I told the coach, I said, I got to drop off the team. And in the midst of saying that, I wept. It just came over, wept. I wept. I said, I got to drop off the team. Because I wanted to play football. It was a big thing with me, but now I knew I could not play. Now, I'm in life, and there were certain things I wanted. I wanted a woman. This is my ideal. That's the best way. I'm going to say it like that. I wanted a woman. The woman that I wanted, not somebody wanted for me. The one that I wanted. I wanted that woman. And I'm an old man now, and it looks like this woman is a possibility for me. However, I see that she is not. And why is that? She is now like varsity football. I cannot play in the world she's in. To do whatever she wants, or the world wants me to do, to be able to have a relationship with her, I cannot do it now. It has nothing to do with me being married or anything like that. No, I'm not married, actually. I'm single, according to my religion. But it has nothing to do with stuff like that. It has to do with me being so severely injured in life that I cannot play in the game of courtship, let's call it, that would be required to get to a person like this. I cannot do it. I cannot play in that game, and I cannot. So we have a parallel here, which life often does, It runs cyclically, like that, through like an open spiral, and you keep going round through the same kind of experiences over and over through life. Talk to the people in that, what I call the quackery. And, if you go to them for their, I don't want to get off on this, never mind. People understand and accept what I'm saying. So I'm now, as an old man, where I was when I was a senior in high school. I'm a senior in life. I was a senior in high school. I'm facing a similar situation. I wanted this kind of woman, but if I'm going to get a woman, it's not going to be anything like what I wanted. Because what I wanted, I cannot get. Just like I cannot play football. I wanted to play football. I couldn't play because of the injury. Because I've been so severely, what's the right word? Injured in life. So severely injured. I cannot do certain things that others can do. I cannot do them. And so this woman is out of the question for me. I can see it now. She's out of the question. So I'm not going to weep. At least I don't see it happening yet. Maybe down the line I'll be going, and I can't get it away. And maybe that'll happen. I don't know. But it could be that because I got a kind of wisdom now, I'm not going to weep. There was a a quote up on the library at University of Maryland that I spent most of my time at when I was there. And the quote said, "Those who do not learn from the past are forced to repeat it." From a man who had a Hispanic name. That's all I can remember now. But it was up there, and I saw it. So I've learned from the past, and I'm not going to repeat the past. I know now that I'm in a similar situation to what I was in before. So I can now see, after trying to get to this so-called woman who's like football, calling to me, "Come on, AJ, you were great, a player way back before everybody started to sexually mature. Now you've sexually matured. Come on and play." But I can't play, as I said. So I wanted a certain kind of classy woman when I was young, and here's this classy woman now when I'm old. But I cannot have that woman because she's in a different game from than I can play. That's the best way I can say it. So I accept that. It's taken me now over 3 years to realize this about this woman. And I can see this is going nowhere, just like football was. In football, I just keep getting re-injured. I could not play. Now, that's all on this subject. I'm going to have to move on from here. Now, that's all. That's all on this subject. Where I'm headed from here, I think if there's going to be a woman in my life, in addition to my wife, it's going to be someone I haven't met yet. And it's not going to be anything like I would have imagined. It's going to be a woman. I'm not turning into a queer, okay? Because this world I'm in is so weird. It's so abusive to me. It's so horrific, Yeah, I'm gonna. What I really want to do is I don't want to be a queer, okay? So this woman, a real woman, is going to come into my life somehow, and it's not going to be a woman that I've met yet, and it's going to be everything I wanted it to be. It's just going to be different than I would have expected. That's what I'm saying now. And, well, okay, I'm going to go on being like the woman who wrote that book, 50 Shades of Grey. I hope she doesn't accuse me of libel or something, put me in a court when I'm saying that I read that she's explaining why she secluded herself when she was writing that book. And she explained, she said, "I was writing and writing and writing." But she made billions of dollars, maybe. I don't know. It was 50 Shades of Grey, like a porno book, but women loved it. I think it was women. After all, look, women are the readers of books. They've always been the readers, not men. Okay, not men. Men are not readers. And I majored in English, but one of my cowboy relatives on my mother's side, when he asked me what I majored in college, I said English. He said, "Isn't that what girls major in?" He was serious. I didn't know how to answer because I already knew back then women are the readers, but no, I'm not a girl and I don't want to be one. Oh, God. I even got to answer questions like that. Okay, so let me not forget what I was going to say here. I was going to say, I'm going to elaborate a little on the point that I was making in another one of these recordings. I'm making recordings and recordings and recordings. Like the woman who wrote 50 Shades of Grey, I was writing and writing and writing. She made billions. I'm not trying to make billions of dollars, but I am trying to say that there's nothing wrong with what I'm doing. I don't have to make billions of dollars, I hope, to be able to make recordings like this, I hope. Okay, so let me go on and say that because of the way I've been injured in life, now if I said that like this, because of the way I've been injured in life, somebody would be going like, "Hey!" in mockery. So I know not to do that. Do not do that. Let's not get into a long diatribe on that. I think everybody understands. Let's move on. Uh, what was I going to say? Oh, I got to put this on pause. I think. I can't remember now. I'm in what I call an emotional blackout. Anytime I get emotional, I black out. Hey, hold on. What was I going to talk about? I can't play the game of courtship because I've been severely injured by life. Declared I was crazy, given a poison shot in a murder attempt. No one believes, but that's what it was. A murder attempt by a man who was a serial murderer. That's not believed either. He was the man, America's man of the year. He was a serial murderer. Okay? You don't have to believe. You haven't believed a word out of my mouth for over 40 years, so I don't want to talk to you at all in law enforcement. You want to say, oh, interesting. No, you are not going to talk to me at all. I'm going to leave the United States. If you want to find the proof of what I'm saying, go look for it. Do your job. You're not going to get any help from me. No to you. I'm not going to go into a rant. Let me just move on. I'm out of the courtship game. Why? I've been severely injured by experiences that make that impossible for me. Now, here's me and here's the world out there of courtship. I'm watching a TV program within the past few years. And there's journalists chatting among each other to show, I guess, the world, this is what we're thinking about, just like you. And we're going to have our group chat. You're going to see that we're just like you, and we're going to have the same problems you have, and you're going to enjoy this. You thought we were on a pedestal, maybe. No, we're just like you. Okay, what do I hear? In shock, I hear a woman journalist or a woman taken out by a journalist. She's going to go out on a date with this guy, and she sees that he's rolling up to this restaurant. I'm not even going to say the name. I don't want to get sued by the restaurant. A restaurant that people in the United States might consider to be like one small step for mankind above fast food. Okay? And so it's out of the question. This woman says, "You're taking me here. I'm not getting out of the car." I said, oh my God, because you know what? This restaurant that she's not going to go out on a date on, I thought that this restaurant was too expensive for me to take my family to. That's what I thought about it. And she's saying, I won't get out of the car on this date. You're going to take me there? No way. You're just like me, huh? Well, I don't know if you are. So I took my family maybe 3 times in 20 years to a fancy restaurant like that one. We didn't have the money for that, okay? Am I crying about it? No. As I was thinking to myself before making this recording, I was saying to myself, we never took our son to restaurants to eat. But we paid his way through an expensive private school, and we paid his way through college in cash, taking out no loans. So he graduates from college, and he's not an indentured servant like a lot of American graduates are. They got thousands and thousands of dollars to pay back over the next 20, 30 years of their life for going to college. And our son didn't have that. So he never went out to eat at a restaurant. Not even that one where a journalist is... This is not Walter Cronkite or an anchor for any of the major broadcasting stations. No, this is just a plebeian, so to speak, reporter on broadcast news. And I'm not going there. No. Okay, so... She's not going there. Well, I never went there. It's too good. I've taken my family maybe 3 times in 20 years to a lesser place, and to me, that was a restaurant out to dinner. Okay, now I had another example, but as I say, I get blown away by emotions. and now I'm in forgetful land. I can't remember what the hell it was. I'll put this on pause. I had another good example to mention in the same vein as that one. Since I'm somebody who's supposed to have one of these mental diseases, I know about veins. A favorite vein, we can take your blood, and which is a good vein here, They're going to check your blood to make sure you're taking that medicine, and is it regulated? Oh, God. Nightmare. Let me put this on pause. Nightmare in the United States. Nightmare. Well, I can't remember. As you can see, that last point ended with me saying nightmare, and I mean it. My life has been a nightmare here of false accusations and punishments on false accusations. It's been horrific that way. And, well, let me move on to the discussion. I heard, and I'm going to get into a lighter tone here. I read at a certain time of my life, within the past, 30 years maybe, that there's this concept among women, the concept of dumbing themselves down. These are women back in the 1950s and 60s mainly. I'm sure it's still going on today. And, I quizzed a woman or two on this, and it is. But it's not just women it's going on with now. Okay, let me get back. Women had this concept called, they got to dumb themselves down, especially they got a college degree, or they're just smart women. Never mind the degree, okay? You don't have to, a degree doesn't make you smart. Watch The Wizard of Oz, right? They make a mockery of that. The Scarecrow can't think. He thinks the successful victory over the witch there. The Scarecrow's thinking how to get them to succeed there. He doesn't have any brain. He doesn't think he can think. So the wizard gives him what? I have a degree for you in thinkology. THD. Doctor of Thinkology. Here it is. Okay? The movie's making a mockery of that. You are not smart because somebody gives you a degree. Okay? Nobody gets that, right? If we do get it, we don't. Oh, anyway. I was saying I'm going to get into a lighter note. I try to remember what it was. I was getting into a lighter note. Now I'm blown away by emotion. Hold on, let me put this on pause. Once again, I'm into my emotional blackout from the horrific life of false accusations I've had to live here in the United States ever since 1982. And, well, my remedy for that is to leave the United States. It's been my goal for all those 40 and more years. And I aim to make that goal be successful, to achieve it successfully. That's my last major goal in life, to leave the United States successfully. Meaning I don't end up jailed in some foreign country because I don't have enough money to live there or I've done something else wrong. No, I leave safely. Legally, I'm admitted to the country. I have whatever they need for me to live there comfortably, and I like the country I'm going to. I'm not just leaving to leave, and so on. I leave safely, and I leave the right way. That's not easy, as I've found. So there I am. Let me stop. As I see, I'm trying to save someone on the phone, and I'm getting this circle round and round and round. I said, suddenly I remembered something else I wanted to say, and I'm already forgetting what it is. Oh my God. Well, I remembered when I started this, I grabbed the phone and started to make this recording in the midst of seeing that circle go round and round and round like that. I said, oh, I just remembered it. I grabbed the phone, and now I'm forgetting. As soon as I wonder what this symbolizes. That I want to say something, but as soon as the spotlight comes on me, I forget. What's the symbolism? Stage fright? That's what it is, isn't it? It's stage fright. It's fear. Well, what makes me so fearful? The things that have happened to me in my life. That's what makes me fearful. Now, I did remember, and now I've forgotten. I swear to God. Put this on pause. Maybe I'll remember. Hold on. Yeah, here it is. Quickly. I was saying, when my wife and I are like buying things now, like we go out and have something to eat at a restaurant, it's just going to be McDonald's. That's a bad thing. No, I like McDonald's. I like McDonald's. I'm not criticizing, but McDonald's is fast food. But even when we go to McDonald's, it's like this. Should we each get a coffee? A small coffee. Or should we share one? Because we're saving money down to the penny. Why? Well, a lot of reasons. One is we're still helping to support our son. And he needs a lot of money. He's trying to live in New York City. It's very expensive. So we're pinching pennies and throwing the money at him all we can. Are we mad at him? No. He's also living frugally up there, and wisely and virtuously. So we're going to support him 1,000% all the way down the line. We don't begrudge him one penny, but to get those pennies, this is one of the things we've been doing for years. It's how he paid his way through college and so on. We're going to say, when we're at McDonald's, this is our restaurant we go out to eat to, if we ever go out to eat. And we're going to say, should we order each, you get a coffee and I get a coffee, or one coffee? And the complications to that are, generally I like some sugar in my coffee. So that creamer that's sweetened a little, I'll have some of that. But my wife, she likes coffee black. So, if we get it, that one coffee, somebody has to make a sacrifice. Is it going to have sugar or be black? Well, a lot of times now I'm saying make it black for her. It's a big sacrifice I'm making. But we're going to have the one coffee. Two is too expensive. So we'll have one coffee, not two. And on a very special day, you have a coffee and I'll have a coffee.